Hey, I'm Matt with Meat Church. Let's make chimichurri chicken. So we've set out to do a bunch of easy weeknight dinners. Good friend of mine said, man, you make a bunch of barbecue. I come to you to learn all things barbecue, but I know you cook a whole lot more than that, so why don't you start showing us that? So yes, I'm in my outdoor kitchen, but this is a recipe that you can cook inside your home. So you can send this to anyone you want that cooks inside, and they can make this as well. What are we gonna make today? We're making chimichurri chicken. And when I came across this recipe, I thought, well, that's interesting. Chimichurri, traditionally an Argentinian sauce that is paired with red meats. You guys know we've had chimichurri recipe on meatchurch.com for years. We've put it in all sorts of recipes on the website and on our YouTube channel. But the beauty of this is we're gonna make it with fresh herbs today, so it's gonna be really delicious. And we're gonna pair it with a meat that I had previously never done this with, chicken. Made it at home. My whole family thought it was really good. And once that happens, that's when we decide we're gonna get out here and make something for you guys. So let's jump into it. You can do this with any kind of chicken that you want. My favorite type of chicken are chicken thighs because that's where the flavor's at. And I'm not gonna do a lot of work to them, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna remove the excess fat that's on them. So I don't like all of this fat on here. It's kind of an unpleasant bite. So I like to take a sharp knife and just kind of scrape that fat away and then trim it. Kind of trim anything that's kind of errant, hanging off away from it. But that's up to you. You paid good money for this. You might not want to trim anything, but I want this to cook kind of evenly, so I'm gonna clean it up just a little bit. You guys know we've had a chimichurri recipe on meatchurch.com for years. Now they've got it all trimmed up. I'm gonna lightly season this. This recipe is mostly gonna be about the marinade, but I'm gonna use just a little bit of our Blanco seasoning. So it would be kind of like salt and pepper, but Blanco is salt, pepper, onion, garlic, little bit of butter. It's delicious with chicken, so I'm just doing like a very light application here. I'm gonna marinate in a Ziploc bag, so I'm gonna drop these in here. Let's make our chimichurri. So we've got some parsley and some oregano that we wanna get minced or diced up, a little bit of garlic. So first I'm gonna start with my garlic, put it in a molcajete here, and I'm gonna just kind of press this up to make a paste. And if you don't have one of these, you could actually do this with the backside of your knife. Start forming it into a paste and put a little bit of salt on it. Instead of using regular salt, I'm gonna use our seasoned salt. All right, let's put that in a bowl. Okay, and now let's mince up all of these herbs. All right, parsley is minced up. Let's add a little bit of red pepper flake, give it a little kick, a little red wine vinegar, some olive oil. And I'm gonna season that with our Blanco. Our Holy Cow would also be a great choice. Mix it all up. So if I was making chimichurri simply for accompanying a meat, I would want to put this in the fridge and really let it come together for a while. But this is for a marinade, and so I'm just gonna dump this right in the chicken. Let's talk about marinating it. Marinating is a great way to impart delicious flavor and sometimes moisture, depending what you're marinating with. In this case, I think that you need to marinate this at least 4 hours. If you're in a pinch, you could do 2 hours. You're not gonna get as much of a benefit from it. You could even go overnight if you want. Dump this all in the bag. You wanna massage it around so all the chicken is nice and coated. Okay, seal that up. Now, we've got some we made this morning that is already marinating, so I'm gonna turn my fire on, get my skillet heated up, and I'm gonna go get the chicken I've got marinating. All right, we've got some here that we did this morning, like I said. Before we do that, let's put some oil in the pan. Got Yeti cast iron here. Again, this would be like on your stove top in the house. Oil's heated up, go in with a little bit of butter. I love mixing oil and butter. It raises the smoke point of the butter here. Now, I'm just gonna leave most of this chimichurri on here, or a lot of it, I should say. In we go. Definitely always know your cooker, know where your heat source is coming from. This little cooker has a tendency to cook a little warmer in the middle than the edges, so I'm just gonna rotate them around here. So I'm looking for the browning on the edges. I'm gonna kind of take a peek at the bottom, make sure it's not too far. I really like to err on the side of really close to not burn, but like serious char, because char is flavor. Woo. Flavor town. I'm gonna flip that. If you're ever feeling like things are drying out a little too much, you can add a little more oil, throw a few more pats of butter in there. You know, don't be afraid to baste with it. Butter basting is gonna help brown the meat. It's gonna give you obviously added richness. Also, you'll speed up your cook process just a hair. Well, these are temping 165, so they're done. Great thing about cooking thighs, you can actually go beyond 165 and not dry them out, so there's a little more latitude. But my goodness, these look good and they smell even better. And cooking in cast iron, you're gonna get some great crust on there. Good God, those look delicious. Well, I'm pretty excited about this. This stuff looks awesome. It smells unbelievable. And let me talk to you about cooking this a little bit here while I'm setting this out here. So there's a lot of ways you can cook chicken, and you certainly could have thrown this in your oven. You could have thrown it in your smoker. You could have thrown it in your pellet grill. Any of those ways are fine with this chimichurri method. One thing that I like about cast iron, the way we cook these today, is this reminds me of like blackening salmon or something. I really like the crush you get off cast iron. I'm a big cast iron collector and cast iron cook, so not saying that's the only way you can do it. You could have kind of like seared this off in here, then thrown it in your oven or throw it in your pellet grill. However you want to get your chicken cooked is just fine. Today is really about marinating in this chimichurri, and now we're going to accompany this chicken in even more chimichurri. So the recipe is always down below in the description. In this case, the recipe calls for the chimichurri we made for the marinade. Well, while things were cooking, or resting, I should say, I went ahead and made another batch because I actually want to top and accompany this chicken with it. So if you want to do what I'm doing here, then you might want to double the recipe so that you can have extra, because my experience with making this is that it's even better when you put some on it here at the end. The marinade's great and I love it, but I can tell you that having some extra to dip it in and serve it with like this is even better. And we keep this on hand quite a lot, so we usually have some in the refrigerator. But very big fan of this, and honestly was pretty shocked the first time I had chimichurri on something other than red meats, and that's again why I wanted to make it for you guys today. So let's grab one of these here, and I don't need any utensils other than a knife. I'm just gonna jump right in here. Good Lord. That thigh is so juicy and packed with flavor. That is not your mom's chicken right there. God almighty. I said this earlier when we were making the chimichurri. When you marinate, it's about imparting moisture primarily and then flavor also. This is serious flavor. You're getting serious chimichurri off of that. But the juice inside of these thighs, that's why I always cook thighs. Dark meat is where the flavor is. When I'm eating fried chicken, I order all legs. Don't waste your time with the white meat. That stuff is the business. What I would do if I were you, I'd make this marinade at night, throw your chicken in the morning when you go to work and you come home. All you gotta do is cook your chicken. But that is so good. Like I said before, this is going in our weeknight dinner idea playlist. It's also, it's gonna be in our chicken playlist, obviously. If you've never checked out our various playlists, we've got 20 something on this channel. So really appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Your subscriptions are how we keep doing these free how-to cooking videos. You can check out all of our recipes, all of our swag, aprons, cutting boards, the whole bit at meatchurch.com. Links down below in the description. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys next week.